Hello there, friends. Today we are going to talk about Victor Wembanyama's rookie card, the 2023 Panini NBA Hoops card number 277. And I'm going to tell you why I think you need to stop grading this card, at least PSA grading it for the moment, because there's some vital information I think you need to know before you do so. So first things first, we have this card in raw, PSA 9, as well as PSA 10. So we've got all of these data point sets that I've gathered to compare and contrast what their values are in various grades. And you're going to find out that you might be losing out on quite a bit of money by getting this card graded. So first things first, 15 data point sets taken from recent eBay sales. That's what we'll have listed for each of these. And as you can see, the blue down below is actually going to be the average price paid to win an auction for this card. Now, this is the raw version. So on average, people paid $9.40 to win this card. $1.67 gets it shipped to you, and on average, you're spending $11.08 in order to have something show up at your front door. Now, is that what this card is worth? I'm going to say no, because this is not what the sellers are taking home. There's a middleman in play, and that middleman is called eBay, and they have fees that definitely come off the top. So $7.86 would be what sellers are taking home on average on this card after eBay takes their slice of the pie. This is more indicative of what the price is for this card on the open market. So about $8 is where it caps out. Normally, yellow, green, and red would be where I would be offering if I saw this in a card show in person in order to get my hands on it at a good price. So that's 70, 75, and 80% price points. Typically, I'm right around the yellow as where I'm buying this card at. So about 75% is what I like to get. Now, so keep in mind, $8 for the raw. Let's look at the PSA 9. We're seeing a $24.34 price point on average to win this card. Sellers are bringing home $20.81, and I'd like to get my hands on it at that $18.26. Pretty interesting price change, right? So to get a PSA 9 grade, you are sending it in to PSA, and there's a fee usually associated with that. That fee, let's call it $25. Now include some shipping prices as well as other fees that are on top of that, and you just lost money on this card. That's right. It went from an $8 card to a $24 card or so, or a $28 card to a $20 card, and you just dropped $30 on it. So you are in the hole on this card if it grades out as a PSA 9. And let's be honest, the vast majority of them are going to grade lower, right? You're not going to automatically get a PSA 10. But let's consider whether or not that PSA 10, even though it's not as frequent, let's consider if it's worth it. Just to chance it, right? Well, as you can see, a PSA 10 graded card right now is going on average for $65.47 on eBay, with a take home for the seller of about $56. Okay? Here is where that math gets a little funky. Again, you're probably paying at least minimum $30 in fees to get this graded, right? So that just drops you down to $26. Your $8 card just jumped $18. That'd be great if all of them graded out at a PSA 10, but they aren't going to do it. This is why I think grading this card right now is a losing proposition. There are a ton of them out on the market right now. There are a ton of them coming back. Why? Because there was delay in getting those back. And usually you at least have on average about 65 business day wait in order to get your cards back from grading. So you're talking 3 months. And right now we're seeing that 3-month wait start to end for a bunch of people who already submitted their cards, hoping to get that PSA 10 grade. So there's a lot of supply right now. Of course, there's a lot of demand, but still that demand is not netting you enough value for the PSA 10 over what that raw is offering. So chances are, if you get this graded, it'll grade at a 9, right? Far more likely for that to happen than it grading at a 10. So realistically, right now, if you pull a pack fresh Victor Wembanyama card and you send it in for grading, you are losing about $10. $10. You're going in the red. And that is why I think right now is simply not the time to get this card graded. But it might be the time to just buy a PSA 10 graded card on the market, right? Let somebody else go through all the effort. Let somebody else take chances with their money and potentially get a PSA 9 back for a negative loss. And let's just buy it that way, right? In fact, you could sell your raw Victor Wembanyama for about $8-10 and then spend $46 to get a perfect PSA 10 graded card without having to pay the fees and without having to chance losing out and getting a PSA 9 or lower grade. That is why I think it's not a good idea to get this Victor Wembanyama NBA Hoops rookie card graded right now. I personally am holding on to a few of these, and yes, if the market goes up, I will certainly reconsider. But the jump from a raw card to a PSA 10 considering fees is just not worth it. Take care, my friends.